Coach Steve Alford has joined us. The Coach's Show brought to you by Crystal Springs Bottled Water. It's that good. And, Coach, I remember you telling me earlier on in the season when we win like this, you'll stay forever.
Well, let me just say this off the beginning, Mike. I've been very fortunate and blessed in basketball, and there's been a lot made of, my career as a player and now, 17 years into coaching. And I've been very fortunate to coach the kids that I've had a chance to coach too. But in 17 years of coaching, I'd say this with total honesty. This was the best crowd from tip to the end that I've ever been involved with as a coach, and I mean that. It wasn't a sellout tonight. It's not like this was our largest crowd, but volume-wise, Mike, they were in it right from the tip. They got excited when we got the tip. They were in their seats ready to go, and we needed that because we played an outstanding Utah team that really guards you. They had been struggling offensively, and they got it going in the second half, and it didn't matter if we were up 10, down 7, making a run, or the overtime. It was a very consistent crowd of an awful lot of volume, and if there was a reason why we were able to get over the hump, we've struggled at the foul line, Mike. We've struggled getting key defensive stops late in games. In my opinion, the reason why we won this game was because of stops in the free throw line, and our crowd had everything to do with that.
Well, I tell you what, when they fill the place and they start yelling, you'll really like it then, huh?
Well, yeah, and I think that I just think people in the community and the Lobo fans are realizing that these kids really give it everything they got, and we're learning. I think it's like if you just look at Daniel and Monquel. 2 months ago, I think they foul out in 10 minutes playing Luke Neville. I think he's really talented. I think both of them foul out maybe in the first 10 minutes of the game. And not only did they not foul out, I think they really made him work. He only had 6 field goal attempts. I think we made him work. We got key deflections. They turned it over 16 times to our 7. This is the sixth time in 20 games that we've turned the ball over less than 10 times in a game. I don't know if I've had a season where a team's done that, and when we left the island of Bahamas, that scared us to death because we were turning the ball over 23 times on that trip a game. So what I'm most pleased with, well, second most pleased, we got 16 wins. Second most pleased, we're learning. We're getting better. I'm seeing guys get better. I'm seeing the team, the unit get better. I challenged the team. I said, look, we haven't had a big assist night in a while. We share the ball all the time, but we haven't had a big assist night. Let's get 20 assists tonight. They get 19. They're doing a good job of paying attention and working, and I couldn't be more proud of this group.
Coach, when you saw Daniel Ferris tonight, could you tell by the look in his eyes that he was going to have the kind of game he had? Because I thought he played supreme in the first half.
Yeah, I did too. Daniel, coaches always find mistakes. 16 shots is too much. He's not ready to be a guy in our system to get 16 shots. And the way Neville is, you can't challenge him. You can pick and choose when you challenge him. But I thought Daniel did a really nice job. His second half, I thought, was really good. But for him to play 34 minutes and get 15 and 7, and Neville get 13 and 9. We'll take that every day because we know how important Neville is to their team. Daniel's equally important to us, and I thought he really played well.
And the one thing that you have to talk about is that he only had 2 fouls in the entire ballgame.
Yeah, and Monquel didn't get a lot of minutes, but I thought Monquel gave us 8 minutes of really good defense as well. So, that was obviously a concern going into the game, and I thought we handled things inside pretty good.
So New Mexico wins in overtime tonight, 77-67 over Utah. And Coach, your team 16-4 after 20 games. And I've asked you this before, I think. If you'd look at me 16-4 after 20 games, you'd really be excited, I think.
Yeah, and I am pretty excited, Mike. I'm real excited. I just like where the program's headed. I like what this group of young men are doing. I like how hard they compete. I like how they handle adversity. You're up 10, and then all of a sudden you're down 7. That's a time where you could easily fold and not get back in the game. And for us to get back in the game, get a tie score, get a great stop at the end of the game to force overtime, then to win overtime 17-7. The way our crowd is reacting to this team, knowing that we've got a top 20 recruiting class on the way in 08, we're very, very excited about how things have gone to this point. And hopefully we can just keep getting better because we know, obviously, the next 2 games are not going to be they're going to be very difficult. At BYU, at UNLV, these are two programs that have been at the top of our league for a long time, and in their buildings, very, very difficult. So we got our hands full.
Coach, when Luke Neville fouled out in the first 30-some seconds of the overtime period, you directly inside, you put J.R. Giddens on the baseline, and that was your strategy to work him down in there?
Well, once Neville left, yeah, that's exactly right. Once we got that 7'1" guy out of there, it really opened up the lane, and we knew they basically went to a 5-guard lineup. So that's why we took Daniel out, because we knew we were going to get beat off the dribble. Daniel, trying to have Daniel out there guarding a point guard on a switch isn't good. And I thought 5-guard versus 5-guard, that probably favored us, because we knew they really had nobody that could go to the low post. And we had a guy like JR who we could feed in the low post. And JR is one of those guys that just keeps coming up big. 14, 8, 6, really guarded well. He's been a special player for us this year.
We'll have more with